make sure it's working. This is Trey, and we are doing fractions concepts assessment. So I'm going to show you a rectangle here. Pretend this is a granola bar and show how 3 people could share this. There's an eraser on that pencil if you ever need it. Okay, and then how do you know that those are equal?
Because it's split into third. If you split it into, if it's makes, since one shape's a rectangle, if you split it into 3 rectangles, then you know they're the same thing.
Okay, so how, is there a way that you could check to make sure that those 3 pieces are equal?
Use a ruler.
And I don't have one. Think of another way. Okay. So why did you do that?
Because I learned last year that if it's two knuckles wide, then
Okay.
it's an inch. So if they all
Oh,
fit.
okay. All right. Do you want, yes. If you need that, you can use that. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Get that one. Alrighty. So on here, could you show 1 out of 4 equal parts, and just just show 1 out of 4 equal parts. Okay. Okay, and so then how do you know that that is 1 out of 4 equal parts?
Because if I want to split something in fourths, I would go right down the middle and then through the sides.
When you go
Make
right
it
down the
shapes.
middle, then what's that? If you just went down the middle, then what?
1/2,
And then so then you made another line.
which would be 1/4 or
And
1/4.
so guys, they're 4 equal ones, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So pretend this is another like granola bar or something. How could you share this with yourself in 4 people? So 5 people in all. You're going to share this. Make only 1 mark to show your share.
I don't know how to split it into 5. Oh well.
You used some strategies before. Oh, remember I said just make 1 mark, just to show your your part. I'm going to erase that one, okay?
Okay. Yeah, right here.
Okay. All right. All right. How do you know that is your share?
Because I use my fingers to measure it each time, and it would fit in here 5 times. So,
Okay.
and since it was me and 4 other kids, then I would have to split it into 5ths.
Okay, and so then, when you look at this, you've got a line here and here, and I put 1 more here. Is that 5ths? Don't draw on it, but just, so that doesn't make that a 5th, does it? What does it make that?
A 4th.
So why did you make that piece smaller?
Because if you have a bigger number in the denominator, then the number in the numerator will be smaller.
Tell me a little bit more about that. So if the denominator is?
If you make a little mark, the denominator's at the bottom and the numerator's at the top. So if I have like 10 for the denominator, then I would have smaller pieces. But if I had 5 for the denominator, I would have bigger pieces on that.
Oh, okay. And then you said something about the numerator. What?
The numerator is how much is shaded in
Okay.
for the
Gotcha.
fraction, or how
Gotcha.
much you get.
Okay. All right. All right. Shade in 2 parts. Okay. What fraction of that whole strip is shaded?
2/7.
Okay. All right. Let's write what you said on here. All right. So this is the same one right here, okay? So I'd like you to cut 2 parts off of this strip, okay? Cut off 2 parts.
So what? You want me to make this and then?
All right, so let me look here. My directions don't seem clear, do they? Okay, so these are kind of like the same, right? Okay, so can you cut off 2 parts from this strip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I'm just going to put those, so you can put that back up there. So what fraction of the whole is this part?
The numerator part of 2/7, it would be the 2 parts shaded in for 2/7.
So you're saying that this piece is 2/7. Okay, how about this piece?
5/7, because 7 minus 2 equals 5.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying 2 and 5, or like there's 7, and if you take away the 2, you've got the 5 left. Okay. I'm gonna take this. Okay. Alrighty. So you're going to use the scissors to cut off what you think would be 1/5 of one of these rectangles. What do you think is going to be 1/5? Okay, and then how could you find out that this piece is 1/5?
If I put it on here and see if it could go on there 4 more times.
Okay, do you want to try that?
1, 2. No.
All right, so we can still use this one, but you could cut this one differently if you want. Or you could use that card. Because right now you do not have 4 or 5 equal pieces, right? Okay. Okay, so now you're thinking that's enough. Now what are you gonna do? Okay.
1,
Okay.
2. No. That's more than.
Okay, so what would you do? You don't have to cut again, but what would you do differently with this piece that you cut? You said this was closer to 1/4, right? And this one isn't going to work for 1/5. But what would you do differently if you had this whole piece together?
Maybe cut like through here,
Cut this way? Why would you do that?
because it might have a longer length than these.
Okay. Could you use this piece, a part of this piece, to try this again? Because this was a good strategy, because you were checking. If you were going to use this piece to try again. Because you were saying this was too much to cut off, and this was, because that made the pieces too big, but then that was not enough.
I still got this one maybe.
Okay, so can you do it on this and check? Do it on here and then cut it and check. There you go. Okay. So is that the same as either one of these?
Yeah.
So if you were just looking at this piece right here, okay, and when you cut off the big one, that made 4ths, and then this one was made it maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7ths. Where do you think you might draw a line to cut next time? Okay, all right, thanks. All right. Can't cut these, okay, or draw on these. These are some fraction strips. Alrighty. All right. So if this strip is 1/3 of the whole, which strip is the whole? Does that make sense to you? Okay.
So I'm looking for a third. 1, 2.
Okay. What do you mean you're looking for a third?
If this is a third, I have to put this in 3 times to something.
All right.
So now, I'm all set. I'm thinking the orange maybe then. Yeah, the orange.
Okay. And then, so how do you know?
Because every time I put it on here, I would put my finger,
Mm-hmm.
then I would make it touch my finger a little, and then do it
Okay.
each time.
All right, so you said the orange. Can I show you something? So there's 1, right? And so I'm gonna just leave that right there to help me. So there's 2. Okay, and there's 3. What did I do different than you did?
You marked it with
Yeah.
this.
So then it ended up being a little bit too much, didn't it? Mhm. I think what you're doing is you're putting your finger down, and when you were moving the paper, like you ended here, but your, that's fine, okay, that's all we have to do for that one. So I just wanted to show you that for the next activity, okay? All right. Wait, I still need this one, okay? If this strip is 1/7 of the whole, which strip is the whole? Oh, interesting. I like how you compared that.
So
You
I'm
think it's
thinking
that
this
one?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that was 1/6, so I put another square next to it.
Okay,
See if it would fit.
so that was 1/6, and now you're checking again to see if that was 1/7. Oh, that was a good way to check. I like that. You didn't have to okay, so good. So I'm gonna take this one. So if this strip is 1/4 of the whole, which strip is 3/4 of the whole? If this is 1/4, which strip would be 3/4 of the whole?
No, so
Do you need to go bigger or smaller?
I need to go smaller
Smaller than this one? Why?
because this didn't fit into that, so
Okay.
it must be something smaller.
So when you're trying to fit that in, what are you looking for?
Something that will have this go in 3 times.
Okay, all right. So those were all too big. You already did those. Those were all too big, and you said you needed smaller. I don't think you've tried these either.
This one.
Okay, so this was 1/4, and you measured 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. That's what it sounded like you were doing. Good job. So remember that what you just did as a tool for when you're doing some measuring, that maybe like the finger's not the best tool, and just to be a little bit more accurate, maybe choose something else that's not as wide as your finger. Because that worked really well for you when you used that little straight edge. You did a really nice job figuring out the next ones. Yeah. There's so much stuff with this one, it's crazy. All right. Let me give you some strips here, okay? All right. This is my strip, okay? My strip is 4 times the size of your strip. Can you show your strip?
What again?
Okay. My strip is 4 times the size of your strip, okay? Can you show your strip?
Yours is 4 times bigger.
Than yours. Mine is 4 times bigger than yours.
These are all the same size.
So you may choose one of these and do what you need to it to cut or to make your strip or to tape, whatever you want to do. Okay.
It would be this long. This would be a fourth of
Okay,
this.
you don't have to cut it. I just want to check you're pretty accurate. Look, you're pretty close to accurate. What if you used folding to make it even more accurate, right? You were right on. I mean, you were really close. I'm just folding to show you how close your thinking was. But you could be, more accurate. Look at how close you were. This was like perfect. So you have a good eye for that. All right. Okay. All right. This is 3/7 of the whole. Okay, so this paper right here is 3/7 of the whole. Can you draw the whole?
What?
Okay, this is 3/7 of the whole thing. Pretend I've got like a cake or a granola bar or something. This is 3/7. Okay, could you draw the whole?
So, can I
This is
draw on this paper?
Absolutely, yeah. Can you explain to me what you're doing?
I'm marking it so each time I'll know how big the hole would be.
Okay.
But that's too small, so I would cross that out.
So it looks like you're drawing 7. You've got 6.
Do I shade in 3/7?
Okay, so this is 3/7. Okay, what I wanted you to do is draw the hole. Can you show me the hole? Everything you drew is the hole. Okay, all right.
7 of them.
Okay, gotcha. Because this was,
How was it?
this was 3/7, and so you drew 7 of them to show the hole.
If it was 1/7, I was supposed to.
Oh, okay. So you're saying if this was 1/7, this would be the hole. Okay, so you caught that one. What are you doing now?
I'm doing it again, but
Okay.
then I remembered you can't, if you add 3, you'll never get to 7.
Okay.
So I think there's supposed to be like a remainder of 1.
What do you mean a remainder of 1?
Because if you try to add 3, you can't get to 7 because it would be 3, 6, and then 9. So you would always skip over 7.
Okay, so you're saying this is 3/7 plus 3/7 plus 3/7,
I
right?
like to cross this out.
Oh, so this is 3/7 plus 3/7?
Is 6/7.
Okay, so is that the whole?
No, because there needs to be a remainder of 1/7.
What are you gonna do with that 1/7?
Oh, I think I know.
Can you just, why don't you use this and just, can you color in the hole? Color in where the hole is.
All of it?
So,
That would
so
represent.
this, that would represent the whole. You said this was 3/7, and that was 3/7, and that made 6/7, right? So color in what the whole would be. So what do you have colored right now?
6/7.
6/7.
And then I would color one
Gotcha.
of the 3, which would make it 1/7.
So you're saying 3 plus 3 plus 1? All right. All right, so, this is when I was gonna ask you something. Stephanie drank some soda. 24 ounces is 8 times the amount of soda that Stephanie drank. How much soda did Stephanie drink?
8 ounces.
So she drank some soda, okay? 24 ounces is 8 times the amount of soda that she drank. How much soda did she drink?
I think it's division.
So tell me more.
I would use if it's division, I would use multiplication to solve division.
Okay.
And I know, if I would do something times 8 equals 24, and I
Okay.
know 3 times 8 equals 24, so I think it would be 3.
What would be 3? How much soda did Stephanie drink?
3 sodas? Or 3 ounces of soda.
3 ounces. On the back of this, can you draw a picture to show that? Okay, so I saw you drew the 24 ounces. I counted for you, so there is 24
Yeah,
there.
because that's what I was making an array of 8.
Oh, an array?
An 8 by
Oh,
3.
gotcha, 8 by 3 array.
And then you could put them in 8 groups.
Okay,
Or
okay,
5.
gotcha. Okay, so you put them in 8 groups. And we said that 8 was,
It was. Wait, no, it's supposed to be like this instead. Then it's supposed to be 3. If you have 24 and you have 8 of them, if you try to put them in groups, you'd have 3 groups.
Did you divide that by 8 or by 3?
I divided it by 8. 24 divided by 8 equals 3. Or you could do 24 divided by 3 equals 8.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna take the paper. All righty. This is an energy bar. The company that makes this energy bar wants to make a new bar that is 7/5 the size of this bar. Could you draw the new bar?
7/5.
They want to make a new bar that is 7/5 the size of this bar. Could you draw the new bar?
I have no idea where
You have no idea? Okay,
I'm supposed to do.
okay.
No, I have no idea how to measure this either. No, I don't know.
So you drew this line, what does that line represent?
The other bar of it,
Okay, so how much is that?
1 whole, but I was gonna split it into 7.
Okay. You're gonna split it into sevenths, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
I gotta go for
Can you,
He has to be at safety.
alrighty, how's that? Thanks.
Okay.
I will try and